your home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Join us Thursday, March 19th at the Golden Circle Sports Bar at Gillies Park City for the ESPN Wichita Papa Shot Contest. Think you got the hot hand? Come prove it. Sign up start at 4 p.m. First shot in the air at 6. Step up to the Papa Shot machine, rack up the points, and compete for prizes and bragging rights. We'll be giving away prizes for the top 3 finishers, so bring your friends. Gillies Park City with ESPN Wichita is happening Thursday, March 19th. Sign up for contest at 6. Golden Circle Sports Bar. We'll see you there.
The ESPN Wichita app is available now for both Android and Apple. Go to your app store and download today.
What was I going to talk about again today?
Search ESPN Wichita and take the station with you wherever you go. While you're there, find podcasts of your favorite shows. Sign up for our app-only contests. Send a text into the show and much more. The ESPN Wichita app, your source for sports in Wichita. ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
You stepped aside with a vibe I ain't never seen. Yes, you did. Ooh, so girl, if you talk like you walk, come and talk to me. But look here, it would break
I'm old, Easton's young. March 16.
You better show me now, show me now, show me now.
Pat's here. Pulse coming up.
When I take it to the floor, ooh, you gotta get down. You know what to do. Hey, Mr. DJ. Play a song of this pretty little lady. 'Cause if she dances,
Well, I can tell you who this sounds like.
It's where I'm at.
Yeah. Plus, if it's who I think it is, this dude's got a gigantic catalog right about now, right?
100%.
He's everywhere.
100%.
And whenever he drops, it's like gold every time.
Yeah, apparently.
Rarely do you have a bad song from him. Rarely.
I can't stop. Is this Bruno Mars?
This is Bruno Mars.
I can't stop thinking about the Saturday Night Live skit when he was, I don't know if he was a musical guest or he was a host. Do either one of you guys know what I'm talking about? The Pandora skit?
Yes.
Oh my God. So good. If you guys haven't seen it and you're just a little bit of a Saturday Night Live fan.
Louis Armstrong, Aerosmith impersonation.
Yes. He's working at Pandora. And Pandora goes down. And Jason Sudeikis is like the GM of Pandora. And I don't want to give it all away, but he's frantic and he's screaming, "Can anybody in here sing?" And Bruno Mars happened to be working there, you know.
They did that same skit with Ariana Grande too.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that one's so good because she does really good impressions too. And yeah, those skits are the best.
Yeah, I laughed out loud the whole skit because Sudeikis is funny, obviously, and then
hilarious.
Oh,
man. Can't get enough with Sudeikis.
I am so
I
slow.
don't think Shane has either.
Slow to come around on Ted Lasso. Yeah, I for whatever reason, I haven't gotten there.
Oh, it's probably because of just where it's located, streaming service wise. I think that's what's prevented a lot of people, in my opinion.
Fair.
We should definitely watch it. Ted Lasso is
all the reviews I've heard
fantastic.
Yeah, are thumbs up. They're good. How much of it really has to do with soccer?
I mean, soccer is certainly right there at the center of it, but it's very much more so about life.
Okay.
Truly is.
All right. Not that there's anything wrong with soccer.
There's
for real
all sorts of stuff in there. A guy that is likable. Nope. I'll stop talking. I'm going to spoil something.
What? Oh, no.
Yep.
If so, all right.
There's
Suit yourself, but I don't think that's bad form.
there's one person who I feel like people root for at the beginning, and boy, does it take a turn.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
And there's someone on there who you don't like, and all of a sudden you root for him.
He becomes likable. Okay.
Now it's spoiled. Now I can't watch it.
Bust his chops.
There's a
He's
guy by the name
attaboy.
of Ted Lasso in the TV series.
I don't mean to give anything away,
I don't
but,
mean give everything away.
but he does have a fictional tie to Wichita State, right?
He does.
Yeah.
That's a big reason why you should watch it too.
Right.
Just based on that alone.
You're going to bully me into it eventually.
I think you'd really enjoy it. And then you can get ready for. They did 3 seasons, I believe, right?
Yeah,
So
I think
season
that's right.
4 is coming out, and it switches over to women's soccer.
Okay.
But once again, I think it'll still be not necessarily 100% about soccer, be more so about the other stuff.
Okay.
There's some
Like
fun
the-
interactions in there.
My joke today was about soccer.
See?
It was. Yeah.
Perfect.
Cinderella playing soccer.
Was that the joke?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's a Cinderella playing soccer?
Why was Cinderella not very good at playing soccer?
Missing a shoe? Missing
She
a slipper?
she ran away from the ball.
Boom.
Boom. Thank you for the commentary.
A little teeny tiny mic drop by Easton right there.
I'm sure he was really proud of it.
He didn't say. He just left it out there for people to digest.
Mhm.
He just said, "Here you go. Here it is."
Let it marinate like a good
That's
old
right.
brisket.
That's right. All right. Let's celebrate some birthdays today. Bunch of layups for old Easton here. I'm old Easton's young.
You say that. You know that Easton's like notorious for being so at this game, right?
Pump fake. Give a little
Not
pump
this
fake.
time.
You
No.
sure?
No. You just wait.
Okay. Can't wait until he whiffs on a big one.
Turning 27. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Baseball.
Okay. Good start.
Hooray.
Joel Embiid, 32.
That's that basketball player, ain't it?
Mhm. Yeah, he's originally from Cameroon.
KU alum.
Oh, there you go.
Speaking of soccer, wasn't he playing soccer?
Aren't they all?
I have no idea. That'd be a sight to see.
Him, and believe it or not, since you brought it, him and Akeem Olajuwon were really good at soccer before they were really good at basketball. So,
Just saying.
yep. Chris Boswell, 35.
Mm. That's the Steelers kicker.
Yes. Good job, buddy.
Bang.
Very good long range kicker from the Steelers. And a place that's not very easy to kick half the time. Heinz Field. Blake Griffin, 37.
Basketball.
Very good.
There we go. These are not bad. Not
Told you.
bad.
Okay.
Would have also accepted one of the Kardashians' boyfriends. once upon a
Oh,
time.
TV analyst.
And on the panel of a couple of roasts on Comedy Central.
Oh, those were the best.
Wasn't he up there with Tom Brady's roast? I think he might have been.
I don't think he was. It
Someone find out who was on the dais during Tom Brady's roast besides Gronk
I mean, Julian Edelman,
and Edelman
Drew Bledsoe,
and Nikki Glazer.
Drew bled, so
Yeah.
Tom could. Who are we looking for?
Blake Griffin.
No, he wasn't on there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. He was on the
He was up there.
Caitlyn Jenner roast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, I remember seeing him up there. Okay. Caitlyn Jenner. Oh, my God.
And Alec Baldwin.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Curtis Granderson, 45.
There we go. Baseball.
Yep. Yep.
Man, you ain't kidding. This is
Told you.
layup after layup.
Royals beat him in the World Series.
Sure did. Beat him when he was with the Tigers some, too. Todd Heap, 46.
Is this core 4
Yeah.
football?
Very good. Tight end.
There we go.
Woo! Ravens.
Friend of the show.
Good friend of Pat Strathman.
Easton. I talked to Todd Heap when I was out there at Super Bowl
yeah, you
Radio
did,
Row
yeah.
when you were there.
That's right.
Him
Yeah.
and
Him and Dennis Pitta.
Yep.
Yep.
Legends for the Baltimore Ravens. Love me some Todd Heap. Yeah, last year I admitted, I was like, hey, man, used to play with the Ravens just because of you, not because of Jamal Lewis, not because of Ed Reed in the backfield.
What game?
So back then would have been, and if it would have been the ESPN version, that was the one that I played, the 2K5.
Okay.
Which was, and still is, better than Madden, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Used to play with the Ravens all the time because of Todd Heap.
So my son called me yesterday during the middle of the Shocker game. And I pick up and he's like, hey, you busy? I'm like, yeah, not really. He's like, so James is his buddy. So James got new MLB The Show.
26.
Yeah. What did you throw? I'm like, well, fastball and a change up.
Is he creating you as a player?
Yeah. He said, I'll keep you posted on how it goes. I was all right.
In Road to Glory?
I don't know.
Or not Road to Glory. It would be Road to the Show.
I don't know.
How come I'm just now realizing that? I should have done that. I should have selected pitcher and created Shane Dennis. That's what I should have done.
Well, you still can, but
Oh, all right.
I thought that was funny. It's like, what pitches did you throw? I said, well, fastball, four-seam fastball, change up, and a bad curveball. So if you want to add in a bad curve, I don't know if that's possible or not, but
It totally is possible.
I gave him everything I could think of.
Only 3 pitches.
He said, I'll let you know.
Hopefully it'll go swell.
And if not, it's fine. Like, know how I would have done in the big leagues.
Don't think you could have gone to, I don't think you can go to Japan in MLB The Show.
Dang. Surprised. You do everything
That's
else
so
in video
cool.
games nowadays.
Yeah. Well, now I got a new thing to do.
Rodney Pete, 60.
Rodney.
Peete. Big 4.
Big 4.
Yep.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. Baseball.
Oh, footy.
Yeah,
Football.
he's a former quarterback.
Dang it.
Yep.
What years did he play?
Well, he's 60, so it's been a while. He was in the late 80s, early 90s. Went to USC. He was married to Holly Robinson. I don't know if you know who that is.
I have no idea who that
Okay.
is.
I think she was an actress of some fame. So they're kind of a power couple back in the day. Mel Gray, 65.
That's football.
Very
too.
good. Good comeback. Good bounce back.
I gotta show those pump fakes just a couple times.
Ozzie Newsome, 70.
Is this Big 4?
You knew Mel Gray, but you don't know Ozzie Newsome? Man.
Well, is this football?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Former
Okay.
Browns tight end, but also might still be Ravens GM, right?
Oh my God, yeah, he is.
I think still. Yeah.
Okay, that's where that sounds familiar.
Football lifer, Ozzie Newsome. Born on this day, now dead. Would have been 92 today. Howard Schnellenberger.
Oh man, I have no idea.
Want a hint?
Yeah.
He's a coach of this sport.
Okay, let me think of this.
Okay.
Because you can't fit that on like a football or a baseball jersey.
Well thought out. Yeah, Schnellenberger's probably a little tough. So he was a coach.
Maybe you could though. Let me throw. I'm gonna go baseball, maybe.
No.
Oh, dang it.
Howard Schnellenberger was the architect of the University of Miami football greatness.
Oh, okay.
You remember? Well, no, you don't remember. You ever heard of Bernie Kosar?
No.
You ever heard of Michael Irvin?
Yes.
He was his coach
Gotcha.
way back in the day. Yeah.
Got it. I'll put that in the memory bank.
He was in the U.
Yeah. How much do you like 30 for 30s?
Oh, I love 30 for 30.
You need to watch
Should I
the
watch
U, the original one. He's in that a lot.
I've seen a lot of clips for isn't Mike Irvin's in that, right?
Oh yeah. Well,
I've
he's
seen
in the
clips.
he's in like part 2. There's 2 the U's because there's
Gotcha.
so much tradition at the University of Miami. They had 2 of them. He's in the second one, but Howard Schnellberger's in the first one.
Gotcha.
And then he went on to the USFL, and then Jimmy Johnson replaced him at the U. And then he went to the Cowboys, and Dennis Erickson replaced him. And then he moved on. And Butch Davis replaced him. And then he moved on. Larry Coker replaced him. Jim Kelly was a Howard Schnellenberger quarterback. Texter, you are exactly right. At the very, very end of Jim Kelly's career. All right, Miami anyway. Dying on this day, 4 years ago, Ralph Terry.
I don't know this one.
Okay, here, I'll give you a hint. Ralph Terry, in his particular career.
Oh, wait. No, I know.
Okay,
wait,
go for it.
I know this because I remember. Okay, baseball.
Very good.
There was MLB made a post.
Okay, good. Cheater. MVP in 1962 and played with the Kansas City A's once upon a time. So
he was an A.
Had a little KC tie for a second. Died at the age of 86 4 years ago. Also dying on this day, Eddie Shore. He's a Hall of Famer in this particular sport.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Uh-huh.
And he died on this day?
Yes. Because I'm sure that's the hint you were looking for.
Give me football.
Oh, no. Sorry. He was a hockey player.
Dang it.
That was a tough one. Did pretty good, though, especially on the born days.
I'm sweating.
Well, relax, because you got 6 more minutes until the pulse starts. So y'all should stick around. Pat's coming up next.
AMR Clinical Wichita is inviting adults aged 18 to 65 to participate in a research study focused on uncontrolled high blood pressure. If you've been taking blood pressure medication for at least 8 weeks and meet additional study criteria, you may qualify to take part in this important study. Receive all study-related care at no cost. Compensation is available up to $1,225 for study-related time and travel. Call AMR Clinical today at 316-867-6329 or visit amr-clinical.com to learn more.
ZZ Top. Dwight Yoakam. Together live. Dos Amigos Tour. Saturday, March 28th in Trust Bank Arena. On sale now at selectaseat.com. ZZ Top, Dwight Yoakam, Dos Amigos Live.
College basketball is heating up, and the best place to catch every rivalry, every dunk, and every nail-biter is Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Fuel your watch party with scratch-made favorites, legendary wings, and 29-degree draft beer that stays colder than a courtside chill. With wall-to-wall TVs, you're locked into the action from tip-off to the final buzzer. Bring your crew, rep your team, and make every game day a win. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. On that heavy shelf you hung yesterday, turns out you didn't use enough anchors. Wait, you didn't use any anchors? Now you've got an open floor plan. Trendy. And if you have the wrong home insurance, you could need a wall of money to fix this. So get home insurance with Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs. You just bought a home in the suburbs, but no one told you about all the birds, specifically this one, who seems to be calling out Roy. Roy. But who exactly is Roy? And why doesn't he ever respond?
All right, Pat, let's
Maybe
get it.
Roy is
I'll
just
play
bird
ESPN
speak for
here,
Save
then.
with Progressive by bundling your home and auto.
Yeah,
Yes,
ESPN,
until
then
Roy answers, we'll never know.
the Open, and we'll be good to go.
Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
Wichita's sports leader. ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. KKJQ Newton.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Justin Fields is the newest backup quarterback for the Chiefs. They acquired the 27-year-old from the Jets for a 2027 sixth-round draft pick. New York acquired Geno Smith from the Raiders last week to be its QB1. Kansas City starter Patrick Mahomes, rehabbing from knee surgery, has said he wants to be ready for the season opener. Alabama's second leading scorer, Aiden Holloway, arrested on a felony drug charge 4 days before his team set to play in the NCAA tournament, reportedly taken into custody for possessing more than 1 pound of marijuana. NBA, Lakers seek to run their winning streak to 6 when they visit the Rockets tonight, and it's the start of a critical stretch for LA, explains ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
This 5-game road trip that begins tonight in Houston is very, very difficult, though. It is going to challenge them. The Rockets are the third best home team in the league, and they're right next to them in the standings. So all of this work for the last couple of weeks that has gotten them into this position could be undone by a bad 10 days here. We'll see how they handle this challenge.
Lakers currently third in the Western Conference, up a half game on Houston.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannicono. Tuesday, before the tournament tips off, I'll give you my top 5 players I'm most excited to watch. It's unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
You're listening to The Pulse with Pat Strathman on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Small town, big dreams, and a young boy the age of 15 had a premonition his city would get seen. Now I'm winning, get sheen in the city of the home of.
What's up, Wichita? Happy Monday, everyone. And welcome to NCAA Tournament Week. Who's excited? I know I am. And boy, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Not only do we have to recap what took place over the weekend, but we also have to look ahead at this week. We also have all sorts of promotions going on as well. We have some programming changes to talk about. Man, these next couple of hours going to be jam-packed. But glad to be with you all. Hope you had a tremendous weekend. This is The Pulse. I'm Wichita's sports leader, ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM. We are also streaming in multiple places if you haven't heard of all the options. Here you go. You can watch us if you prefer to be on YouTube, on Facebook, or on X. We are video streaming in all those different places. Check us out on there if you want to see our bobbleheads or studio, all that lovely stuff. We are video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. If you just want to sit back and relax, if you have a smart speaker like I do, I have a ton of smart speakers, maybe too many. but I have one downstairs. And as I was getting ready for the bracket reveal via CBS, I thought, you know what? I want to listen to our coverage from Westwood One, since we are the home of the NCAA tournament. So I was listening to that, and I was using my smart speaker to do that. Very handy. All you have to do is just tell your smart speaker to tune into ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM or KKGQ. ESPNWichita.com. You can stream us on there. We have podcasts on there. We also have a bracket challenge that's up and running on ESPNWichita.com. I'll give you more details in just a little bit, but ESPNWichita.com, go and check it out. We also have our app, the ESPN Wichita app. Our downloads continue to skyrocket because of all you guys. Can't thank you enough for doing that. But if you haven't given it a try yet, I would encourage you to do so, because we might be doing some unique things on the app at some point. If you need to access the bracket challenge on our app, we have that. Just head to our ESPN Wichita app, download it today. If that doesn't interest you, at the very least, you can have all sorts of options at your fingertips. You can listen to ESPN Wichita programming live. If you want to check out podcasts, they're up on there. If you want a reminder on the text line number, we have that on there as well. A link to all of our social media platforms, all right there at your fingertips on the ESPN Wichita app. Those are all of the ways for you to listen to us right here on Wichita Sports Leader, ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. I'm Pat Strathman, and producing is Easton John. We continue to keep you on your toes. Jack Johnson was unavailable last week, so we had Dylan Brett all week long. This week, Jack Johnson is back, but he has to fill in for Seren Petro. So you'll hear from Jack coming up here at 4 o'clock. Jack filling in for Seren today and tomorrow. And then we should have Jack back in the saddle for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Knock on wood. But for today, you get Easton John. And we're glad to have Easton John filling in once again. If you would like to reach Mr. John, you can give him a call at 316-669-4996. You can call him, say hello, 316-669-4996. The text line number, though, is where you basically want to live, is the best way to describe it. You're going to want to live on the text line for today, because here's what we got for you. First and foremost, your comments are always welcome at 316-247-0923. What do you make of Kansas's draw in the NCAA tournament? Shocker fans, how are you feeling after the loss to South Florida yesterday? But yet NIT basketball is on the horizon. Use that text line, please. 316-247-0923. 2 giveaways for today, and I will be using the text line for both. $30 in Kansas lottery tickets for starters. And we also have a family 4-pack of tickets to the Globetrotters that are going to be in town at Intrust Bank Arena. The Harlem Globetrotters are going to be in Wichita. And if you would like to go, we'll give you a family 4-pack of tickets. We'll tell you to text, and that's how you can win on the text line. 316-247-0923. So be ready for that. A couple different giveaways for today. And we'll have giveaways throughout the rest of the week. And you're not going to miss out on all those. The lineup for today, coming up in a little bit, brackets, and more brackets. Of course, the NCAA tournament. We will take a look at the region that Kansas is in and the seed that Kansas has received. Did Kansas get lucky? Was it a bad draw? We'll get to all that coming up at 2:25. But I also want to tell you a little bit about the NIT bracket featuring Wichita State. There's also another bracket, WBIT, that I just want to highlight for a moment. And there's a method to the madness when it comes to that. So lots of bracket talk coming up in a little bit. We'll get to our Beast of the Week at the very end of hour number 1. Didn't have a ton of area state champions to talk about for basketball, but a few I would like to highlight. So, spoiler alert, we'll talk some high school ball. Hour number 2, the Chiefs made a move to pick up their backup quarterback for Patrick Mahomes. There have also been some other moves involving the Chiefs that we have to talk about. 3:25-ish, we'll be joined by Phil McClintock, Hemmings basketball coach at Friends University. The season is over for Friends, but man, what a performance. A 4-overtime win on Friday. Didn't have much legs for the game on Saturday. They ended up knocking down 23s, but yet it ended up being a loss to Ave Maria. So we'll recap the NAIA games with Friends men's basketball coach Phil McClintock coming up at 3:25. And then at the very end of the show, Easton John will pick a topic for Mount Rushmore Monday. That's what we got for you today. It is March 16, 2026. Glad to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us. And I hope you're ready for lots and lots of basketball right here on the channel. Let me give you some programming notes. Normal today, tomorrow, and on Wednesday. But our shows will combine on Thursday morning starting at 8 o'clock. Shane and I will tag team the show. Should be a lot of fun, 8 until 11 o'clock. And then we will hand things off to Westwood One as they will take over. The very first game slated for Thursday is a 9-8 battle featuring TCU and Ohio State. But just note that we might be bouncing around. Westwood One is probably going to be bouncing around to all of these different games. So be ready for that on Thursday. And we will be doing our show on Thursday at Gillies in Park City. We'll be on the first floor on Thursday because the Golden Circle Sports Bar won't be ready to rock and roll right away. But once our show is over, we'll be ready to watch some basketball. And I'm telling you right now, there is no better place to catch the madness of March than up there at Gillies in Park City, inside the Golden Circle Sports Bar. I'm telling you that right now, because if you haven't experienced it yet, you need to change that coming up on Thursday. 2 50-foot screens, and they're massive, absolutely massive. So if you want to catch all the action, go to Gillies in Park City coming up on Thursday. So watch some basketball. If you can't make it out there right away, that's okay. But I encourage you to come back out at 4 o'clock because we will have a Pop-A-Shot contest. Citywide is providing some prizes. And if you need some incentive, $1,000 worth or around there, should be quite a bit for you to win. So if you want to show off your hot hand at Pop-A-Shot, you're going to get the opportunity coming up on Thursday evening at 4 o'clock. That's when signups begin. Everyone shoots. Everyone records a score. Whoever has the best scores are going to be put together in a bracket, and then whoever comes out on top is going to get a wonderful prize, multiple prizes. First, second, and third place is going to take home some prizes. That's coming up on Thursday at Gillies in Park City. So just note that. It's coming up on Thursday. Friday, we'll also have 8 to 11 as well. Shane and I will tag team once again, and I'm sure we'll look back at day one of the NCAA tournament. We'll have our basketball officially tip off tomorrow. We'll have both first 4 games tomorrow, and then the first 4 games coming up on Wednesday, or the second 2, I guess. You have UMBC versus Howard at 5:30 tomorrow, NC State and Texas after that, Lehigh and Prairie View A&M at 5:30 on Wednesday, and SMU and Miami of Ohio coming up on Wednesday evening. Some of you like to wait until the first 4 is done before you fill out the bracket. And you know what? I respect that. Nothing wrong with that. You want to have all the information in the world. Well, once you get that information, you're going to have to scramble. Right now, we already have a ton of people signing up for our ESPN Wichita Bracket Challenge. If you haven't signed up yet, head on over to espnwichita.com. You'll see a banner. You click on it. Then you'll see join the ESPN Wichita Bracket Challenge. You hit join now, and the password is 923. And it's not very complicated. We want as many people as possible to join this. It's just 923. That's it. Just 923. We have all sorts of prizes for you all. Tickets to various sporting events. Wichita State men's basketball. 17 Green Chalet tickets to the Wichita Open. Wichita Wind Surge access. We also have tickets to some popular concerts coming up. Luke Bryan being one of them. Matt Rife, the exciting comedian. We have free golf. We have gift cards. We have beer tastings. We have a Yingling golf bag and a $50 gift card to Auburn Wine and Spirits West. And there could be some more prizes that will pop up at the last minute. If you end up finishing in the top 10 for a bracket challenge, odds are you're going to get yourself a pretty nice prize. So if that interests you, head on over to our ESPN Wichita website, espnwichita.com, and make sure to click on bracket time, click on the graphic, and get signed up today. Our bracket challenge is brought to you by Davis Moore Chevrolet, Truck Stuff, and Phoenix Home Care and Hospice. We appreciate their support for the annual ESPN Wichita Bracket Challenge. Did we cover it all? I think we did. It's a very, very busy week. We have a lot of stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on. But a lot of opportunity for you to win some stuff via the Bracket Challenge, the Pop-A-Shot Contest, just listening to ESPN Wichita all right here all week long. So those are the options for you to get involved and win some stuff. All righty. Now let's get down to some actual sports talk, huh? I knew it would be about 10 minutes of just promoting what's going on, but that's all the stuff that we have for you. This is one of our favorite times of years, and we want you to be a part of it. We want to reward you, the listener, who continues to listen to us on a regular basis. Can't thank you enough for that. So those are all the different ways for you to get involved. All right, Wichita State men's basketball. Boy, the Shockers ended up getting to the American Conference Championship game, but they end up slipping to South Florida. Let's go ahead and talk about that game and also cover the game from all angles. It's brought to you by Conradi Insurance Group. When life throws the unexpected your way, Conradi Insurance is there, covering all angles. From home and auto to business and beyond, they have you protected. Visit ConradiInsurance.com today. That's Conradi, Conrade, insurance.com. Head over there today and check out our friends at Conradi Insurance. Well, Wichita State had a good feeling about the Shockers matchup with Tulsa. And I felt even better about it when Tulsa had to play some extra time the day before facing Wichita State. Because the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, they rely on their shooting. When you play an additional 10 minutes, it might not seem like a lot, but it's very emotional, high-stakes game. That's probably going to put a strain on your shooting percentage for Tulsa, and it did. And the Wichita State's credit, the Shockers did quite well defensively. Kenyon Giles also put on a show on Saturday when he knocked down 7 threes, which is a program record in a conference tournament for Wichita State. But we all knew the challenge that was lurking in the shadows for Wichita State for a potential bid to the NCAA tournament. A South Florida Bulls team that very much plays like a bull. They will bully you around. That's what South Florida does. And the Bulls for sure showed that yesterday. They absolutely smothered Wichita State. 70-55 being the final. The Shockers were limited to just 35% from the field, only knocked down 4 trays. Wichita State is a team that only averages 10 to 11 turnovers per game. They had 14 in total yesterday against South Florida. Kenyon Giles was caged, just 2 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. I thought Shockers, though, when Kenyon Giles hit that three at the very end of the first half, I felt like, all right, well, now you feel like you got him going by at least getting a three to drop. Maybe that will lead to something in the second half. And Wichita State did make a run, got it to within one. Shockers are right there. But they still just couldn't quite get over the hump. And that's what South Florida does so well. USF is one of those teams that they just grind it out. They just continue to grind away until you start the crack and you completely just shamble. And that's exactly what we saw with that South Florida defense. They had a game plan for Kenyon Giles and the Shockers that was highly effective. Kenyon Giles simply just could not break free from USF. And the way that the Bulls did it was quite amazing. They blitzed Kenyon Giles a lot. Anytime he went around a screen, that person who was on the screener ended up leaving that guy altogether to trap Kenyon Giles. That's what you saw time and time again. And Wichita State couldn't quite figure out how to beat the blitzes there that were being put on by USF. And then when you started to break down some blitzes, or you started to move the ball side to side and you finally get the ball in the paint for a post touch, it seemed like Wichita State would be attacking an area that allowed USF to bring an extra defender. It happened time and time again. When Wichita State would get doubled in the paint and you would see a post player lose the basketball. Emmanuel Okorafor did that numerous times. Will Berg, he's 7'2", but when you don't have that ball high up in the air and you bring it down a little bit, allowing a guard who's coming to double you to rip it away, that's probably not going to be effective. So you have Kenyon Giles getting blitzed. You have anytime Wichita State was going to the rim or moving on the floor, it just seemed like they always went to where there was a spot for USF to double. And then while you're dealing with that, now you feel like, oh, man, they're all over the place. They're in my face. They're doing this. They're doing that. Well, now I got to go faster so I can beat the defense. I got to go quicker in order to beat the defense. Well, USF wants you to play sped up. And the Shockers looked like they were sped up from the very start to all the way to the finish. But yet, to their credit, I thought they didn't play very well at all. And yet they're within one. They're right there. They're within one. But I think a big reason why it was just a small margin was because USF also had some challenges shooting the ball as well. And to Wichita State's credit, the Shockers on the defensive side, I thought they held their own. USF only shot 33% in the second half. It felt like Wichita State was holding its own defensively there for a little bit. Felt like the Shockers were doing an admirable job of trying to match the physicality of USF. But when Wes Enos was able to hit the three, would have been, I believe it was his second one, when he hit the three to, I believe, extend it to a 10-point game, 11-point game, whatever it was, Wichita State would get a three right away to match it, but then I think the other way, I think another three dropped. I felt like when Wes Enos hit that jumper, I felt like that was not a good omen for Wichita State, because offensively, he finished with 19 points, but he took 21 shots to get the 19. He didn't shoot the ball very well from distance, and normally he's a good three-point shooter, much like Kenyon Giles. Normally, Enos is a really good three-point shooter. And Wichita State, they were right there to guard him, but a couple times when you have the green light and you're going to shoot regardless of what the opponent's going to do, and you have that type of confidence, sometimes that's all that is needed. And Enos able to hit some big-time shots. He was able to get into the paint after knocking down a couple of threes, and that allowed him to get a couple of mid-range J's that went through, and then Wichita State just couldn't find a way to rally. Isaiah Nelson was a handful. There's a reason why he took every major award, essentially, in the American Conference. The guy is worthy of the Defensive Player of the Year. He is worthy of Conference Player of the Year, no doubt about it. what he can do is pretty spectacular. He can really take things away with his athleticism. Guy's just a freak athletically. But maybe the most important thing, though, as much as we're sitting here talking about when Wes Enos got things going from distance, when he hit a three to really get him going, you know why Kenyon Giles had such a tough time? It's because 9 times out of 10, Wes Enos was right there in his face. Played 40 minutes. And when he was on Kenyon Giles would try to go around a screen, and there was just no chance. USF played like the better team. And the fear was going into that game with South Florida, everyone asking me, hey, can they really get the job done? The answer is yes, 100% Wichita State could get the job done to go dancing. But I felt like what Wichita State does real well. They hit the glass, the offensive glass really well. They don't turn the ball over that much. They obviously have a really good player in Kenyon Giles. They've been playing much better defensively. It's just that South Florida does a lot of those things as well, and they do it better. And they're much more physical. And that's why USF is in the national tournament and Wichita State is not, dancing for the first time since 2021. For sure a tough pill to swallow, no doubt. But the nice thing is for the Shockers, the season is not over. Wichita State still has an opportunity to do something in postseason ball, and they'll officially kick it off coming up tomorrow in the NIT. And we'll talk about the NIT. We'll talk about the NCAA tournament. We'll just talk brackets. We'll get to all that coming up here in just a little bit. 316-247-0923. Shocker fans, how you feeling after that game yesterday? Are you at least happy that NIT basketball is here so the Shockers can continue to play? Are you looking forward to tomorrow? Hit me up, would you, at 316-247-0923. At the end of hour number 1, our Beats of the Week. Hour 2, Phil McClintock of Friends Basketball. Chiefs made a move earlier today. They also added a couple more free agents. And we also have some details, too, on some other things. So almost like a Chiefs notebook that we'll get to coming up at 3:02. And at 3:45, we'll do a Mount Rushmore Monday. Harlem Globetrotter tickets at some point. Kansas Lottery tickets at some point. Lots of stuff going on here today on the Pulse on ESPN Wichita. Up next, brackets. Lots of brackets to talk about. We'll get to that next here on the Pulse.
The heartbeat of Wichita sports fans. The Pulse on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Get ready to march into millions at Gillies. This month, Play Rewards members have the chance to win big, and we mean big. Every Saturday in March, 20 lucky Play Rewards members will be selected for a shot at $1 million. That's $4 million up for grabs in March. Beginning Sunday, March 1st, earn entries for the first drawing on Saturday, March 7th. Be sure to activate your entries each Saturday to qualify. And here's a bonus. Earn 2 times entries every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Don't miss your chance to march into millions at Gillies. Visit playgillies.com for details.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you.
Have you had Hog Wild's giant stuffed baked potatoes? They're anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Hi, I'm Josh Wissing, Hog Wild partner and general manager at 47th and South Broadway. Nothing is more satisfying than our baked potatoes loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon, and green onions. Add your choice of tender house-smoked Hog Wild meats like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. My finishing touch, Hog Wild's famous barbecue sauce and a few jalapenos.
Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 6 locations in Wichita. Also in Derby, El Dorado, Hutchinson, and Salina.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you. But don't be late, we close at 8.
Are you ready for truck stuff to put bigger tires on your ride? You may also need to consider a gear swap. This can help you maintain acceleration and speed, reduce engine strain, improve towing capacity, and prevent premature wear and tear. Truck Stuff is the only shop in the entire state that has Yukon Gear Master Certified Technician. So to maintain your vehicle's performance, efficiency, and longevity, come see us today at Truck Stuff at the corner of Central and Washington.
Checked out, check us out, Truck Stuff.
The Women's Basketball Invitation Tournament is coming to Wichita, and your young athlete can be a part of the action. Join former Wichita State basketball players and friends for the WBIT Youth Basketball Clinic on Saturday, March 28th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Open to boys and girls in kindergarten through 8th grade. This fun and energetic clinic is just $10 to attend. And here's the best part. Registration includes 1 ticket to the championship game on April 1st. Sign up today by visiting GoShockers.com/tickets. Are you tired of replacing your roof every 5 years? AR Roofing has permanent solutions for you. AR offers both stone-coated steel and indestructible rubberized roofing options, reducing your insurance premiums and promising this is the last roof you'll ever need
15.
installed. Contact them for a no-pressure consultation and learn how AR Roofing can help you protect your home from hail, wind, and storm damage today. Affordable financing options available. Contact them at 316-242-0214 or on their website at arroofing.com.
Panyo.
Da 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 da. Oh, you better be careful. You better be careful, Easton. You better be careful.
I made sure to play that clean version.
Ooh.
How about that?
Gotta be careful. Oh, man. That's why I started talking, just to make sure I'm covering it up. So that way, just in case you got the wrong one, I'll do the best I can to cover. Oh, man, we're off and running. Glad to have you here. It is a Monday edition of The Pulse on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. I see Ashton, or I'm assuming Volcanic Ash 31. I think this is Ashton on YouTube. If you want to drop a comment on YouTube, I'm getting better at recognizing comments, by the way. The comment is, it felt like Kenyon Giles never even got a chance to touch the ball against USF. It feels like he had more makes against Tulsa than he had touches against USF. And I think it's a combination of things, right? I think the number one thing is just South Florida had a great game plan. Whenever Kenyon Giles had the ball, they knew exactly what they were doing. The blitzes really made things challenging. And I felt like Wichita State tried to adjust, but yet USF just absolutely refused. Got this on the text line, 316-247-0923 from the same person. To me, it feels like Wichita State got a solid draw in the NIT. Auburn, Liberty, Navy, and Yale are all on the other side of the bracket. KU has to get past St. John's in the second round, but they've already seen Duke and UConn and looked all right without Darren. I think this is best case scenario for the Jayhawks. So a couple of comments there. Those text messages, if you've been sitting and waiting, should I send, should I not? Fire away. We want you to comment. 316-247-0923. The brackets are out. We'll get to the NIT here in a little bit. Also got another bracket to talk about, but I do want to get to the NCAA tournament because, well, we're going to have the NCAA tournament right here on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. If you cannot get out of work for the tournament and you still want to stay locked in, that's where we come to play, all right? Listen to ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. We're going to have all sorts of games, wall-to-wall coverage, courtesy of Westwood One. In fact, we have something else up our sleeves in a couple of weeks that's going to be fun to announce once we get some more clarity. I'll just lob it out there and just give you a little tease. It's what you call a radio tease. Got some other things that are in the works, which is going to be a lot of fun. But the NCAA tournament, we have the bracket. It's officially out. Kansas somehow, some way gets a 4 seed. Can we just start with that? Like, somehow, some way, Kansas got a 4 seed. How did KU get a 4 seed? I thought after the way they played against Houston, I thought they were screwed. And the way that Vanderbilt was playing in the SEC tournament, which, by the way, we had the SEC semifinals and championship over the weekend right here on ESPN Wichita. Vanderbilt, Arkansas, playing for the SEC title. It felt like no matter what happened in that game, Vandy, Arkansas, it felt like both of them would be a 4 seed. Even Joe Lunardi thought that too. he thought that Vanderbilt did enough. They got to the SEC championship that they would be a 4. And, of course, I'm thinking they're going to be a 4 too, because there does seem to be a little bit of SEC bias nowadays that we all seem to hone in on here in the Midwest. So I thought Kansas had no shot being a 4. They're going to be a 5. Now, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. More times than not, you see 12s beat 5s. That's the only real nerve-wracking thing. And after looking at the NCAA bracket and how it all fell, I don't know if there's really a lot of 12s that you would like over 5s, honestly. And it's the same way with 13s over 4s. Those happen, but it doesn't really feel like any 13 is really going to really pull off something magical. But, of course, I say that, and it could be, Kansas that could get knocked off in the very first game. They get Cal Baptist. And Cal Baptist, if you don't know much about Cal Baptist, well, they are in the NCAA tournament, I believe, for the first time ever, right, for Cal Baptist. 25-8 record this year. Now, Kansas is playing in San Diego, so Cal Baptist is going to probably have a decent crowd. See, the conspiracy's in. They're trying to screw Kansas. It's what it is, trying to screw Kansas. If you want to be one of those people, feel free to, I guess, let me know. But I don't think that's the case whatsoever. I think that's just the way it goes. Cal Baptist is actually quite good in the state of California. It's at home, they ran the table, so they're definitely used to playing in California. But I was just amazed that Kansas got a 4. It was really surprising. Now, difference between a 4 and a 5, well, let's say in the same region they flip-flop. Let's say St. John's is playing Cal Baptist and Kansas is playing Northern Iowa. I am a little surprised that the NCAA tournament committee just didn't do that, because how many Kansas fans cringe when they hear Northern Iowa? I know I still do. We all remember Ali Faroukmanesh. No one should forget about you and I after what happened, I believe it was in Oklahoma City. No one should take you and I lightly. If you're a Kansas fan, you shouldn't. And you and I, one of those teams that Wichita State played earlier in the year, you and I, a very quality team. They're going to play tough there with St. John's, but St. John's does seem to be peaking, and that's the concern for a lot of Kansas fans. If you beat Cal Baptist in the second round, you have St. John's, and St. John's is playing at a high level. It feels like Kansas is going to have an uphill battle there in that game against St. John's. And then let's say they were able to win that one. Odds are you're facing top-ranked Duke. Now, Kansas against Duke. NCAA tournament, Darren Peterson being available, being fully healthy. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Duke a little bit banged up. I think we all understand that for sure. But Duke is, I think you saw just how deep they truly are and how talented they are. They showcased it in the ACC tournament. Had a really good run. And if you had any doubts there for the Blue Devils, they should probably be dashed because of that. But Kansas is the 4 seed in the East region. They'll be playing Cal Baptist in San Diego. That game at 8:45 on Friday. And we'll have it right here on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. I don't mind the draw, honestly. I think you look elsewhere. I mean, you could have been placed in the same bracket as Arizona, I suppose, and maybe you would have felt a little bit better about that. I was talking with Josh Howe, who's a big Arizona fan. I said that Arizona had a pretty good draw. It does feel like the East is loaded just for the pure reason of the coaching that's in the East region. Because you have Duke with John Shire, St. John's with Pitino. You have Tom Izzo with Michigan State, who's the 3 seed. You have UConn with Hurley, who's the 2. So it feels like that region is loaded just based on coaching experience. It does feel loaded. But Kansas has also faced some of these schools. And I don't know if anyone really had hopes and dreams of Kansas truly making an NCAA championship run. And you can have those hopes. I'm just more so of a realist, I suppose. And I understand the challenges that are ahead for Kansas because they got waxed by Houston. If they face a team like a Houston who's going to play physical and is going to have front court depth, that's going to hurt Kansas. It's going to hurt them quite a bit. But I think the fact that they got a 4, you ignore the potential spookiness that comes with the 5-12. St. John's. I know St. John's seems to be peaking at the right moment. They only have 6 losses on the year. I get that. But I still think Kansas and St. John's, I think there's a good chance Kansas can win that game. And they get a chance to rest to prepare for Duke. You hope that maybe Duke has an off night. Darren Peterson has a major, major game. And that's like the real thing about this Kansas team is you just don't know what Darren Peterson's going to be like in the NCAA tournament setting. You just don't know. We've seen some pretty incredible runs in Kansas history from guys that you're probably thinking, all right, well, he might be just okay. And then they have an incredible NCAA tournament run. Maybe he's Malik Newman, and all of a sudden he just goes off in the national tournament. There's a chance of that happening. Now, I don't know if Kansas is really going to have a high chance to go on to play for a national championship, but can they be a Sweet 16 team? Absolutely. And then your hope is you just get there and you find a way to figure it out, and maybe Duke shows some more weakness in the next couple of games. Maybe you can exploit a weakness. So we'll see. But I think in terms of the draw for Kansas, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. I think there are some people who want to live and die by saying that Kansas gets screwed every year in the national tournament. I'm not one of those individuals. But in terms of where they are as a 4 seed, the fact they got a 4 seed, you should be just impressed that they got a 4 seed. Because I thought for sure after getting demolished like that by Houston, that would hurt Kansas and drop them to a 5. And I would be I would be more scared if it was for sure Kansas and UNI. McNeese, maybe not so much. Akron, for sure. High Point would have spooked me for sure. Because I really like High Point. And I know some people are really loving on Wisconsin. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Wisconsin. But High Point has a Jack Golke-esque type of shooter who is electric from distance. They shoot it well as a team. They're very, very good on offense. And if I'm a Badger fan, I would be very, very concerned about that draw. Very, very concerned about that draw. Kansas fans, what do you think of the draw for KU? 316-247-0923. 316-247-0923. Meanwhile, for the NIT, you have Wichita State drawing a 3 seed. They are hosting Wyoming coming up tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And it sounds like it is quite chaotic over there on campus because I saw a post earlier saying that due to the high amount of requests, it might take a little bit longer to get to people, which tells me you all want to pack it tomorrow. And that makes my heart super happy. I was hoping that if Wichita State didn't make the national tournament, that they would host. And they get that opportunity by hosting the Wyoming Cowboys. You get to see this team one more time at home at the very least. Could be 2, depending on what happens in the other game, which features the 2 seed Oklahoma State and Davidson. If Wichita State were to win, Oklahoma State were to lose, then Davidson would go to Charles Koch Arena for a second-round game, which would take place either on the 21st or the 22nd. But since they're playing tomorrow, they're going to play on the 21st, which would be on a Saturday, based on what I see here on the NIT bracket. You get a chance to see this team one more time, and you get a chance to see them face Wyoming. And Wyoming, I actually was talking to Shane earlier today. It's like, hey, do you know much about Wyoming basketball? Most people probably wouldn't. But the head coach of Wyoming actually has a little bit of a Midwest tie. He was actually the head coach at Missouri Western State for a little bit. And he was always this guy that could just drop quote after quote after quote. Like, I can't get enough of listening to him. And I've been following him on social media ever since he was up there at Missouri Western State. And now he's the head coach at Wyoming. And they're somewhat similar to Wichita State in one particular area, and that is they're actually in the top 60 for offensive rebounding percentage and number 51 in defensive rebounding percentage. Of course, we know that the Shockers excel in offensive rebounding, but Wyoming is one of those teams that does like to crash the glass, and that will be a concern for Wichita State coming up tomorrow. It's the first NIT bid for the Cowboys in more than 2 decades. They're back in the postseason for the first time since 2022. First NIT berth since 2003, the 9th NIT appearance in program history. So Wyoming's going to be all sorts of excited about the opportunity to take down Wichita State. The game, though, is at home, and I do think that is a big deal. And the fact that they're having so many ticket requests, that tells me that a lot of you are very interested in going to the game tomorrow. So pack Charles Koch Arena and make it an enjoyable experience. In this same bracket, it's the Tulsa bracket or regional, whatever you want to call it. Tulsa is the 1 seed. The Golden Hurricane face Stephen F. Austin, which I'm sure a lot of Shocker fans know who the head coach of Stephen F. Austin is. UC Irvine and UNLV. UC Irvine is the 4. And we told you about Oklahoma State and Davidson. If the Shockers were to get out of the region, the top seed, top of the bracket, is New Mexico. The 4 seed is Utah Valley. The 3 is Colorado State, which Wichita State, Colorado State could be a potential rematch there for the Shockers after they lost to Colorado State in the battle for Atlantis. And Cal is the 2. The other 2 ones, Auburn and Wake Forest, and that's why we had a texter saying that the draw is actually pretty good there for Wichita State. Dayton is a 2. Nevada is a 2. Seattle's a 4. George Mason's a 3. Illinois State's a 4, and Yale's a 3. But that's on the other side of the NIT bracket. And one other bracket to talk about, just for a brief moment. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because coming up on March 30th and April 1st, it's the WBIT semifinals and championship. They will be held here in Wichita at Charles Koch Arena. If you're wondering who's in the WBIT bracket, of course, this isn't the NCAA tournament bracket, but this is an NCAA sanctioned event, and it's a big deal to show out for the WBIT. Here's who could play in Wichita in a couple of weeks. BYU is a 1 seed. BYU typically travels well. Missouri's a 4. You have Texas A&M being a 1 seed. Rice out of the American Conference from Houston. Kansas is a 2 seed. Kansas faces Troy in the opening round. If they were to win, they'll face Rice or Louisiana Tech. And if everything goes chalk, then Kansas will square off with Texas A&M for a chance to go to the semis in Wichita. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, North Dakota State's a 1. Kansas State also a 2 seed. And the Wildcats get Georgia Tech in Manhattan. If they win, they'll host California or Santa Clara. K-State would square off with North Dakota State if everything goes chalk again. And something else to note, Utah is a 1 seed. Utah squaring off with Eastern Kentucky. If the Utes find a way to make it to the WBIT semifinals and finals, heck, if BYU and Utah both make it, that in itself would be pretty fantastic. So the WBIT, the field is very juicy for potential teams that are going to be nearby that will travel to Wichita. And I hope it happens because we're going to be part of the WBIT. We have some things cooking. We can't wait to tell you more about it once we get some more details finalized. 316-247-0923. Hey there, Texter. Just tuning in. Is there a benefit to Wichita State playing in the NIT? Before you knew your team was building to the future, but with NIL and portal, that's not necessarily the case now. NIT currently comes off like men's basketball version of a bowl game. It just feels like we're in the area of March Madness or bust area, as program building isn't the same. Well, I mean, really, it just really kind of depends on how you really view certain things. I think what the NIT is turning into, Texter, is the non-power fours. This is an opportunity to have your group and honor them and give them an opportunity to make a postseason run and to win something, to hoist up a championship, since not everyone gets a chance to do it. I think that's the way I would look at it, because you have some of these power fours that turned down. Oklahoma could have been in this tournament. Oklahoma said, nah, I'm good. I don't need that. But I feel like for the non-power fours, I like to think that this is more attractive now for a lot of programs. So I don't know NIL-wise what this really does for the players. If anything, I have no idea. It's hard for me to answer that. But I can tell you with this group at Wichita State, there have been a lot of people talking about them, a lot of people who would love to see Kenyon Giles one more time. And I think that's why you do NIT as well. You give fans another opportunity, because a lot of people went to the final game against FAU knowing that it would be the last time for Kenyon Giles. I think a lot of people wanted to see Kenyon Giles one final time. All right, we got a break. Wow, it went long. Thank you, guys. When we come back, Beast of the Week to wrap up hour number 1.
For over 55 years and 2 generations, the Southwestern Remodeling Professionals have been providing homeowners in the Wichita area with a truly unique luxury remodeling experience. From the initial consultation through project design and production, our team provides concierge-style service with a true focus on the best quality products and professional installation. Are you ready to experience something truly different? Give us a call today at 263-1239 or visit southwesternremodeling.com.
The Kansas Lottery asks, what would you do if you won $1 million a year for the rest of your life?
$1 million?
Every single year?
I'd build a new house with a turf lawn. I'd never have to mow again.
I want to actually travel to all those places I use as screensavers on my computer.
Instead of bringing my lunch to work, I'd bring my gourmet chef to work.
Is there a limit to how many penguins you can own?
Kansas Lottery millionaire for life. What would you do?
It's Crosswinds Casino's 5th anniversary. Join us and celebrate all month long and win your share of $18,000 in wins play on Saturdays during the Fab 5 Frenzy. Earn entry starting March 1st. Then play with your club wins card Saturdays from noon to 8 p.m. as 2 lucky winners will be drawn every hour to each win $250 wins play. Don't miss Crosswinds Casino's 5th anniversary celebration and your share of $18,000 wins play. So close, so fun. Visit crosswindscasino.com.
Golf season is here, and everything you need is in the palm of your hand with the Great Life Kansas City app. Download it today to book tee times at the best available rates, use the built-in digital scoreboard with GPS yardage, and enter weekly in-season giveaways for prizes all year long. Get instant updates on specials, events, and exclusive offers across all Great Life Classic and Premier locations. Plus, we're excited to launch the new Drum Farm mobile app in 2026 for an even more personalized experience. Download the Great Life KC app and make 2026 your best golf season yet.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Gotta say, today was a good day. Ice Cube knows what he's talking about here. All right, hour 2 is just around the corner, and hour number 2 features Phil McClintock, men's basketball coach at Friends University. We'll also talk about the Chiefs and what they've done recently. They've done some different things, including making a trade earlier today. And at the very end of the show, we will do a Mount Rushmore Monday. I told you we have a couple different giveaways. Let's do Kansas Lottery now before I forget. If you would like $30 in Kansas lottery tickets, text the word lottery to 316-247-0923. Text the word lottery to 316-247-0923 for your chance to win $30 in Kansas lottery tickets, specifically X Games tickets. Did you know you can play Kansas lottery on your smart device? Yeah, you can. It's rather cool. The Play On app, that's what you need. Download that, and you can potentially take these tickets that might not be winners, but you can use them for second chance drawings, which you can earn some big-time cash on something like that. If you would like $30 in Kansas lottery tickets, text lottery to 316-247-0923. That's 316-247-0923. Beast of the Week time. And it is unfortunate that we didn't have 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, all of them with area state champions, as much as I wanted that selfishly. We did get a state champion at the 3A level. Shout out to Collegiate. Collegiate ended up getting the state championship as the Spartans took down Burlington 55-42. It was a fun story for the Wildcats of Burlington because the way that they were able to get to the state championship game, they ended up hitting just this magical buzzer-beating jumper to win, I believe, in 3 overtimes. So the fact that they were able to make it to the state title game and face Collegiate, that in itself was amazing. But Collegiate has had a tremendous season. They put, I think, 100 points on the board in the opening round. They would win the next game, and then they would end up winning the state title game. So Collegiate ends up coming out on top as the 3A state champs for boys. Good on them for being able to do something like that. Also, Beast of the Week. Also want to give a shout out to East High School on the girls' side. They matched their best finish ever in school history with a third-place finish. Didn't win the entire thing at the 6A level, but did pretty darn good. And I know we have one person who always wants to highlight the Sterling Black Bears. And Sterling is an area that our signal infiltrates as our signal booms all over South Central Kansas. I was told in that first round game featuring Sterling and Douglas, I was talking to someone who was watching Douglas. And after that game, that person told me there's no way that anyone's going to touch Sterling the rest of the way on the boys' side. And turns out that ended up being the case. Sterling boys were pretty good, able to claim a state championship. So shout out to all the state champs, specifically here in Wichita. Collegiate getting the job done. All right, that does it for us here in the first hour. Hour 2. You want to win Harlem Globetrotter tickets? We'll give away a family 4-pack of tickets when we return. Hour 2 coming up next.
The heartbeat of Wichita sports fans. The Pulse on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Gillies Park City is open, and the legendary Hockey Talk is bringing live music every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in March. See Cody Canada and The Departed March 7th, and country music legend Neil McCoy on March 21st. Check PlayGillies.com for full March lineup. Come play, cut loose, and feel the energy you can only get at Gillies. Play hard, eat well, live it up. Minutes north of Wichita and Park City. Get the full lineup now at PlayGillies.com.
Step into Twin Peaks and you're in the lodge. Warm wood, roaring TVs, and the kind of energy your living room wishes it had. Wings, burgers, and ice-cold 29-degree beer. And a vibe that keeps you planted till the final buzzer. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
The ESPN Wichita app is available now for both Android and Apple. Go to your app store and download today. All you have to do is search ESPN Wichita and take the station with you wherever you go. While you're there, find podcasts of your favorite shows. Sign up for our app-only contests. Send a text into the show and much more. The ESPN Wichita app. your source for sports in Wichita. ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. On that heavy shelf you hung yesterday, turns out you didn't use enough anchors. Wait, you didn't use any anchors? Now you've got an open floor plan. Trendy. And if you have the wrong home insurance, you could need a wall of money to fix this. So get home insurance with Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Kansas Lottery X Games! Win up to $300,000 with the X Games. See KSLottery.com for details.
Nothing beats March Madness. The pure sound of a swish, the rattle of a slam dunk, the fans on their feet for the big moments. And the action just keeps getting better until a national champion is crowned. Hear all the action with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA men's and women's tournaments right here.
The road to the Final Four starts here on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Are you tired of replacing your roof every 5 years? AR Roofing has permanent solutions for you. AR offers both stone-coated steel and indestructible rubberized roofing options, reducing your insurance premiums and promising this is the last roof you'll ever need installed. Contact them for a no-pressure consultation and learn how AR Roofing can help you protect your home from hail, wind, and storm damage today. Affordable financing options available. Contact them at 316-242-0214 or on their website at arroofing.com.
Wichita's sports leader. ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. KKGQ Newton.
27th, sixth-round pick. He'll be the new backup to Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Mahomes, rehabbing from knee surgery, hopes to be available for Week 1. The NBA will hold a vote at the Board of Governors meetings next week to explore adding expansion teams exclusively in Las Vegas and Seattle. Industry executives estimate both markets would be among the league's top 8 revenue generators, but not all owners are all in just yet, explains ESPN's Shams Charania.
My understanding is there is a growing majority of owners that are on board with the expansion because the growth of revenue that's going to take place over the coming couple of decades with these two markets. There are still some owners, though, that are hesitant because the pie goes from 1/30th to 1/32nd. So we'll see exactly how the NBA has these conversations.
Proposals for the teams projected to be in the $7 to $10 billion range for each. Franchises would be targeted to start play in the 2028-2029 season.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Tuesday. Before the tournament tips off, I'll give you my top 5 players I'm most excited to watch. It's unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
It's just a public service announcement sponsored by Just Blaze and the good folks at Rockefeller Records.
Fellow Americans, it is with the utmost pride and sincerity that I present this recording as a living testament and recollection of history in the making during our generation.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the O-V. I used to move snowflakes.
Alrighty. We are ready to rock and roll for hour number 2 here on The Pulse on Wichita's sports leader, ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. Thanks for dropping by. We're just getting started for this week, and boy, do we have a busy week for you all. We have all sorts of stuff taking place right here on ESPN Wichita, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Pat Strathman. Easton John filling in for Jack Johnson today. Dylan Brett was our guy last week. This week, Jack's back, but apparently Soren Petro needed a couple days off. So he's filling in for Soren today and tomorrow. So you'll hear from Jack in about an hour from now. He'll be on the airways from 4 until 6 as well tomorrow. So if you want Jack, That's where you'll find them. You'll get them here in just a little bit. Later on this week, Jack will rejoin the program on Wednesday. And then on Thursday and Friday, we will shift our programming around. Instead of the normal Shane from 12 to 2, me from 2 to 4, we will actually join forces and we will do a show together from 8 until 11 on Thursday morning. We'll be out at Gillies in Park City. I know what you're thinking. 8 to 11. Well, hold on. When do the games begin? Well, they begin at 11 o'clock, and that's why we're going until 11 o'clock. We will hand it off to Westwood One, and we will have exclusive coverage of the NCAA tournament. Now, we are encouraging everyone to come out and catch the games on gigantic 50-foot screens inside the Golden Circle Sports Bar at Gillies in Park City. They are massive. They are just mesmerizing. When my eyes first saw the screens, I thought to myself, this is perfect for the NCAA tournament. And that's why we're going to be there. We're going to be there for the games. So we'll be out there getting ready for the games from 8 until 11. We'll be on the first floor at Gillies, technically. And then we will mosey on up. We'll go up the escalators, and we will get ready to watch some basketball. And you don't have to stay in the Golden Circle Sports Bar area per se. They have other areas that you can venture off into. And if you're looking to watch games and have the kids just burn off some energy, they have the arcade that's right there, the High Score Arcade, which is interactive and lots of fun. If you want to do some gambling, you can do that. They have a gambling hall that's impressive. It's all at Gillies in Park City. And we're going to be out there on Thursday morning for sure. And then we'll have a Pop-A-Shot contest later on in the day. 4 o'clock is when you'll need to sign up. 6 o'clock is when things officially begin at Gillies. And that Pop-A-Shot contest is going to have prizes. Yes, prizes. Thousands of dollars or $1,000 around there, whatever it might be. There'll be a ton of prizes for you. One of them being an autographed Wichita State men's basketball by the entire team this past year. So I know you're going to enjoy that. Who doesn't want the signature of Kenyon Giles? I know I would like the signature of Kenyon Giles. But we will also have some other prizes going on as well. All right, that's coming up on Thursday at Gillies in Park City. We will also have a programming from 8 to 11 again on Friday, and we will transition into the Westwood One coverage at 11 o'clock. We'll have KU basketball later on that night as well. They play at 8:45, pregame roughly at 7:15. We'll have the Jayhawk Sports Network take over then. So we'll cut our programming a little bit short for the NCAA tournament, I suppose, but that's because of Kansas pregame. We're super stoked to be bringing you all sorts of NCAA tournament games. We're the official home of March Madness, guys. That's pretty sick. First year that we're doing this. And we're super pumped for it. We cannot wait. Cannot wait. We had the Selection Sunday show yesterday. We had the SEC Championship on yesterday. And then, of course, we also have a partnership with ESPN. So we have the Big 12 title game, the ACC title game on Saturday. If you're looking for college basketball, it's right here. I know some of you take off work for the NCAA tournament. I am one of those individuals. I would like to take off work, but of course, this is my job. So I also have to, work. But in the past, I used to take off for Thursday and Friday because the NCAA tournament is awesome. I love March Madness. And if you're doing that, terrific. Come join us at Gillies in Park City. But if you can't, but you still want to stay locked in, you don't want to miss the magic while you're working, but you can't watch anything, listen to the games right here on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. Coming up here in a little bit, we'll have Phil McClintock, men's basketball coach at Friends. He'll be joining us in studio. And then after that, we'll do a Mount Rushmore Monday. Another reminder for you all, in addition to that Pop-A-Shot contest, in which you can win some great prizes. If you're not very good at shooting for a Pop-A-Shot, maybe you're better at picking out brackets. If you are a bracket challenge guy, we have bracket challenge stuff for you. The annual ESPN Wichita Bracket Challenge is back. And if you want to participate, head to ESPNWichita.com. You'll see the bracket challenge. Click on the banner. It'll direct you to the page. Scroll down. It will say, join now. There is a password. That password is super difficult. 923. 923. That's the password. So sophisticated. I know. The reason why you should enter, well, first and foremost, who doesn't love competing in bracket challenges? I love them. But the real reason is if you finish in the top 10, you're going to leave with a kick butt prize. We have all sorts of things. Sporting ticket events or sporting events for tickets. We have those. We have tickets to concerts that are on there, courtesy of a couple people. We have a round of golf for 4 people. You want a gift card to a restaurant? We got you. You want a beer tasting? You want a golf bag? We have all sorts of stuff, all sorts of giveaways. And if you would like to win one of the many, many prizes, you need to go to ESPNWichita.com and get signed up for a bracket challenge today. It's made possible by our friends at Davis Moore Chevrolet, Truck Stuff, and Phoenix Home Care and Hospice. Top 10 will get prizes. We might even get some more to where top 10 becomes top 20. Just kind of depends. We're getting more and more people reaching out about this stuff. So if you would like to win some awesome prizes and have bragging rights, head to ESPNWichita.com and join the bracket challenge. The password is 923. Join now. It is absolutely free. Free to join. Easy for you to win a prize or two. Head on over to ESPNWichita.com.
Can I join, Pat?
Of course you can.
Yes.
Are you in there? Have you tried yet?
I've already put my bracket in, so if you said no, I would have been that'd have been very awkward.
No, you totally can. You just need to go to ESPNWichita.com and sign up.
All right, that's exactly what I did.
So I know Shane has his bracket filled out already. I'm actually going to look right now. Let's see where we are. I actually see Cade.
You like that name?
What's that now?
You like the name that I chose?
What is it?
Oh, it's third string producer.
Oh my gosh! Stop! I have to go back and look. I have to hit refresh. Did you really just join?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh, you did. Third string producer. That's fantastic.
Yep.
That's terrific.
Name fit.
Well, we have, so I'm on there. It's the Pulse. If you need, any hints there. Shane's is Shane Dennis Show. And we have a few others who have joined as well. So we already have a handful of people already a part of it, which is great. Be like Easton. It took him 2 seconds to hop on. It's not very hard. Password 923. Sign up today at ESPNWichita.com. So the Chiefs, they've done a couple different things. And I'm just going to try to recap as best as I possibly can because they do more than just one move at a time. It feels like they do about 18 at a time. Well, the big move for today, we actually saw a trade get accomplished. The Chiefs entering the offseason needed to address running back. They did that by signing Kenneth Walker III. They also have another tailback that they went out and got as well that could be maybe a little sneaky, and that's Imari DiMercado, who played for the Cardinals. And you look at his explosive play rate, his career explosive play rate is 15.9%. They signed him to a 1-year deal. The Chiefs were trying to address the running back room, specifically the lack of explosiveness. They went out and got Kenneth Walker III and DiMercado. So he comes in and Cardo, I meant DiMercado. Sorry, his name is a little tricky. But that is an area that the Chiefs have addressed. And maybe they'll look into one more tailback. I'm sure they might. But Those are going to be the top two guys for Kansas City. Those are going to be the top two guys. They need defensive line help. They went out and got Tonga from the Patriots to be right next to Chris Jones. At edge, they can still use an improvement or two at edge. They can still get some help there. I truly believe that they are going all in on edge rushers in the draft. But pick number 9, if someone's there that's worthy, I think they're going to go in that direction, pick number 9. You look at what else they have done. They went out and they also signed a corner from the Miami Dolphins who can play slot, which is a big concern since Trent McDuffie was traded away. They ended up losing Brian Cook at safety. They replaced him with Alohi Gilman, the former Baltimore Ravens safety, 3-year, $25 million deal that includes $15 million guaranteed. Wide receiver-wise, they retained Tyquan Thornton. They signed him. And then they also had a couple of restructures with deals. One of the restructurings would have been with Drew Tranquill. He actually restructured his contract so Kansas City can have a little bit more playing around money. So they've addressed quite a bit in free agency thus far, honestly. A defensive tackle, they got in safety to replace Brian Cook. Some would say it's an upgrade. Some would say not. They get a slot corner because I don't think Christian Fulton or Noel Williams are going to be slot corners next year for the Chiefs. So they went out and got themselves a corner that specifically plays slot. Still need help at edge, but at edge, they'll be able to address that in the draft, which I think is good. They already have their offensive line basically figured out. They re-signed Mike Caliendo, I suppose, just to have him be a backup. Got to have that offensive line depth. So they've really gone about their business and handled a lot of areas already. Well, now you look at the Chiefs, and they also have their backup quarterback figured out as well because they pulled off a trade earlier today with the New York Jets. They sent a 2027 6th-round pick to the Jets to acquire Justin Fields. He's 27, wanted to continue his career in Kansas City, although other teams were interested in acquiring him. I wonder what other teams were interested. Maybe the Vikings were in that conversation before they landed Kyler Murray. I'm sure that was maybe it. I don't know if maybe Justin Fields is being targeted for Atlanta. The Falcons have themselves a pair of left-handed QBs. Yeah, Michael Penix Jr., who's supposed to be the guy, but Tua Tagovailoa is there now. But Justin Fields wanted to continue his career in Kansas City. Packers. That's a good one there, Texter. Thank you. 316-247-0923. That's a good one. Packers for sure would have been in the market for Justin Fields. Las Vegas. Easton John sent me a text. Las Vegas, which is quite comical when you think about it, because the Jets last week acquired quarterback Geno Smith in a trade with Las Vegas. By the way, can we just say the Jets continue to just be like a dumpster fire like this? I'm still just left here just dumbfounded that they're going back to Geno Smith. I mean, maybe they can find success again, but anyways, I think they're going to continue the tank. Whatever. The real question to this deal wasn't necessarily the draft pick. At least to me, it wasn't the draft pick. It came down to dollars and cents. How much is Justin Fields going to cost Kansas City? What's he going to cost Kansas City to be the backup quarterback for Patrick Mahomes? And the dollar amount is very minimal. So Justin Fields has $10 million in guaranteed salary for 2026. The Jets are going to pay $7 million of that. The Chiefs are going to pay the remaining $3 million, much like what the Jets did when they traded last week for Smith. As part of that trade, the Jets are paying Smith $3.3 million, while the Raiders are paying him $16.2 million. So maybe, looking back at it, maybe not the worst deal in the world for the Jets to bring back on Geno Smith, but Geno Smith also cannot hang on to the football. So I don't know. Patrick Mahomes back in January said that he wants to be ready for week 1. The doctors said that he could, but he can't predict what happens throughout that process. if I'm Kansas City, you needed to find a backup because I would not trust. I wouldn't trust the doctors, wouldn't trust Patrick Mahomes. I would just be like, yo, we're going to play it safe in the first couple of weeks if we absolutely have to. So the question comes down to, well, who would be capable of being a starting quarterback for us if Patrick Mahomes cannot give it a go? And someone that's not going to cost a boatload of money. I think some people wanted to see Malik Willis go to Kansas City. I just didn't think that dollars and cents wise that was going to make a whole lot of sense for the Kansas City Chiefs. There could have been some other ones that were maybe out there that could be a better fit in the eyes of some. But when you look at the backup market, they weren't going to go after Kyler Murray. No way you're taking a chance on Tua Tagovailoa, who, by the way, I was rooting for him to go to Pittsburgh just because him in cold weather, I thought that would have been the funniest thing in the world. But Pittsburgh, I don't think, is even that dumb to do something like that. But you've had Gardner Minshew, who was there last year. He ends up signing with the Cards. You have Chris Oladokun, who I think that we saw that is not capable of winning you a game. So they have to go after someone who has some sort of experience. And Justin Fields is that guy, but you also got to hope that you can straighten some things out with him. Because what happened with Justin Fields with the Jets? He struggled in his one season with the Jets. He got benched. Would have been in November. Never saw the field again. Finished the year on injured reserve with a knee ailment that flared up after his demotion, a.k.a. I don't want to play for the Jets, or the Jets don't want to pay me, yada, yada, yada. So it ended another disastrous chapter in the Jets' long, winding search for a winning quarterback. Last year, Fields signed a 2-year, $40 million contract, including $30 million guaranteed in free agency. Fields flopped last year. His contract was restructured. Before it was restructured, the Jets were on the hook for $10 million in cash salary, the remaining portion of his guarantee. Fields went 2-7 as a starter. He ranked 31st out of 36 passers in total QBR based on a minimum of 200 attempts. He finished with 7 touchdowns, 1 pick, 1,300 passing yards, including only 505 yards in his last 5 starts. He only averaged 100 yards per game throwing. That's not great. Former 2021 first-round draft pick by the Bears. He's 16-37 as a starting quarterback. It's going to be his 4th team in 4 seasons. That's tough. But I will say this, though. We have said, who was it that was famous for saying they believe that NFL systems fail quarterbacks before quarterbacks fail? And I think for Justin Fields, I think there is some truth to be said there. Because in Chicago, you can just see it. That I don't think he really had the best coaching in the world. He ends up going to Pittsburgh, and that lone season in Pitt allowed him to get that contract in New York. Played in 10 games, had a career best 66% on his completion percentage, threw for 1,100 yards, had 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. It's not like he saw a ton of time, but when he was there in Pittsburgh, you saw that he had some moments. And by far and away, this is going to be the best system he has ever been a part of, the best organization that he's been a part of. We'll see if he can flourish under Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. He's 27, so maybe he can resurrect his career. I would think of all the other free agents that were out there, though, or all the other quarterbacks that were out there for Kansas City to choose from, I don't think this is the worst strategy at all. Because some of those other guys, I think dollars and cents wise, it wasn't going to work. With Justin Fields, you give up a 6th-round draft pick and you only have to pay $3 million for your backup quarterback. Chiefs also like to try to take on projects, to try to rebuild them. Heck, Andy Reid has done it before. So I guess why not try with Justin Fields? 316-247-0923. Holy cow. Got a lot of messages here. Imagine Justin Fields, Kenneth Walker, and Travis Kelce running the RPO with Xavier Worthy and Rice 1v1. You know, I did joke with Shane. I said, why not just run the triple option with Justin Fields? Why not? Why not just do that? Just get specific packages for him to run. Don't forget he went 4-1 with the Steelers as a starter. Yeah, for sure. I get that. And that's why I was saying, Texter, getting around to the situation about just being in poor systems. That's what I was getting at there. I was getting to that point. But, even in Pittsburgh, even when he went 4-1, you want to know how many Steelers fans still didn't want him? There's so many people that didn't want him. Fields just has been suffering from poor coaches. Yeah, I think that is the case, Dexter. I'm thinking that's the case. I'm hoping that's the case. But this is just a flyer. Former first-round draft pick, 27. Maybe he can resurrect his career. All right, we got to run. When we come back, Phil McClintock, men's basketball coach of the Friends Falcons. He'll be in studio. That's next on the Bulls.
This is the Pulse on Wichita's.
And this is all self-contained, Easton.
ESPN Wichita.
What's up?
I said this interview is all self-contained.
Are you tired of replacing your roof every 5 years?
I got it loaded up and
AR
ready to
Roofing
go.
has
Perfect.
permanent solutions for you. AR offers both stone-coated steel and indestructible rubberized roofing options, reducing your insurance premiums and promising this is the last roof you'll ever need installed.
I was trying to do math.
Contact them for a no-pressure
trying to figure out
consultation.
the time.
And learn
It's
how
all
AR
good.
Roofing
No, I knew what you're doing.
protect your
I
home
was
from
thinking the
hail,
same
wind,
thing. I
and
was
storm
getting to that
damage
point,
today.
but been getting
Affordable
blown up over
financing
here.
options available.
Oh, yeah.
Contact them
No,
at
you're good.
316-242-0214 or on their website at arroofing.com.
Seven Clans First Council Casino and Resort is turning 18, and we're cranking up the action in March with the hottest seats yet. $500 hot seats on Thursdays, $1,000 hot seats on Fridays, $1,500 hot seats on Saturdays. All you have to do is earn entries on your Seven Clans Players card to be eligible to win. And that's not all. Every Saturday, we're giving away a different grand prize, a side-by-side, golf cart, vacation getaway, and $15,000 in cash. It's easy to see why winners play here. It's our 18th birthday. You're taking home the spoils. Seven Clans First Council Casino and Resort, Highway 77 in Newkirk.
The ESPN Wichita app is available now for both Android and Apple. Go to your app store and download today. All you have to do is search ESPN Wichita and take the station with you wherever you go. While you're there, find podcasts of your favorite shows. Sign up for our app-only contests. Send a text into the show and much more. The ESPN Wichita app, your source for sports in Wichita. ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Welcome back to the Pulse on Wichita's sports leader, ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. I'm Pat Strathman. The season has come to an end for the Friends men's basketball team as they fell in the NAIA tournament. They did win the opening round game against IU Southeast, 118-112 in 4 overtimes. But when you play an extra half of basketball, naturally you would think in your second round game might be a little bit of a challenge with those legs. Well, that was the case, although Friends was in a position to win that game to move on to Kansas City. Ended up being a rally for Ave Maria as they come back to win 108-102. And to talk more about that, we welcome in the head men's basketball coach at Friends University, Phil McClintock. And Coach, thanks for joining us. I know after a tough loss like that, you can definitely sit back and maybe reflect on that a little bit more, but just the effort that your team was able to put in, ring-dang battling through injury. You don't have Colin Macklin. That in itself would put you at a disadvantage going into the first game against IU Southeast, a team who probably was seeded incorrectly because of the use of an ineligible player in the regular season, changing their record. So you knew you would have your hands full. And it was just a thrilling basketball game, one that will probably go down as the top basketball game inside the Garvey Center, a 4 overtime thriller. you get the win 118-112. I had a chance to finally get home and watch the overtime frames because I got home. I'm like, all right, I'll watch the end of the game. And, they're going to be in overtime. It's the second overtime. And then it just kept going all the way to 4 overtimes. I just thought the way that your team played, though, just a lot of grit, a lot of effort, and to play an extra 20 minutes and to come out on top says a lot about your squad. So let's go back to the opening round game first, and then we'll get to the second round game. 118-112 in 4 overtimes. Just absolutely bonkers. Your thoughts on that opening round game against IU Southeast?
Yeah, it was a matchup that we knew was going to be difficult. They were good. They only had 7 true losses and they had a couple ranked wins. Had to forfeit 9 games, and like you said, due to playing an eligible player. So they were good. They were. It was a really difficult first round matchup, and I thought we just played really, really hard. We both played well, I thought. At the end of regulation, Randy Wolf hits a 3 at the buzzer. I think there was there's 0.3 seconds left to put it to overtime, and then those overtimes were so crazy. We first one was pretty back and forth. The second one, we go up 8, and then they tie it up in 30 seconds. Third one, Eli Benning had 8 points to basically will us. And then the fourth one, we were able to stretch it out. And Khalees hit a big 3, and we knocked down some free throws that helped. I was watching it last night. So it was pretty crazy. I mean, everybody in the gym, it was just the weirdest vibe because everybody was so pumped up. And then, I mean, by the time the game ended, they'd forgot Randy Wolf hit a 3 at the buzzer and to take it there. And people were mad because they were still there, and it was 11 o'clock. And so it was just wild and one of those things you don't get to experience very often. I told our guys during one of the time, and it all merges together, but during one of the timeouts in the game or between an overtime, I'm like, guys, everybody, you're going to be telling your grandkids about this. Like, everybody's going to talk about this forever. You don't want to be on the losing end. And so you want to say it in a positive way. We won this game, and we were able to. And so testament to our dudes and our fight, and I was not surprised we win that close game. So.
Yeah. Well, you brought up Randy making that 3-pointer. I mean, how about let's just start with just that one play there at the very end of regulation. Randy has had this knack for making big shots. Normally, it's a post up around the rim, let him go to work because he's so good at that. But getting that 3 in that moment. Your thoughts on just how it all unfolded to get Randy a clean look from distance in order to extend that into the overtime periods?
Yeah, we were out of timeouts. It was, I think, 5.5 seconds left, maybe 6 in the game, and we had fouled. We were down 2, and we'd fouled them, and they went and made the first, and luckily they missed the second, or else the game would have been over because we didn't have any timeouts. So Randy happened to be on the bottom. I actually think Ring got the rebound, tossed it to him, and he just drove down. That was a scenario, and it was a weird one because, we're out of timeouts. They don't have time to talk. I mean, I would have fouled with that amount of time and not given us the chance to, hit a 3. But it is weird. Like, I've talked to a couple people. It's weird just because you didn't have a stoppage. And so you'd have to trust your guys to be able to do that and practice that. So, but Randy, I mean, he made a game winner against Dort early in the year. He's made big shot after big shot in his career. So he was the guy to have the ball. There's no doubt about that. Ring tossed it to him. He drove up the court, and he was, I think, just a step inside the volleyball line. But I mean, for good players, like Randy, he's probably 35% from that spot walking into it, maybe even higher. So we were lucky that we got that look, and they didn't, I guess, pressure more or try to make him pass it, and they kind of backed off, and it was a pretty clean look. It was as clean a look as you're going to get to be able to tie it up. But testament to him and being a winner and stepping up to in the moment, because a lot of people, in those moments they will fold. But not Randy Wolf.
No, not Randy Wolf. Indeed. Phil McClintock, our guest, Friends basketball coach here on the Pulse and ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. In the second overtime, when I was really able to lock in, you're leading by 8, and I'm thinking, this is it. This is when everything is going to be over. Friends is going to find a way to get the win. and then IU Southeast in a blink of an eye comes back to tie it up like that. And after surrendering that 8-point lead, you go into the third overtime. I'm sure it's probably pretty easy to think, man, did we just blow our opportunity to actually get this win? What was the vibe like going into the third overtime after what transpired there in the second overtime period?
Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't many vibes at all in that gym. I felt like it was to me especially, it was like numb. It was like emotions had kind of gone, excuse me, they'd kind of gone out the window because, I mean, you're on so many highs and lows, and
you're running on fumes, so I would imagine when you're running on fumes, you really don't feel anything.
That's 100%. And when you're in those timeouts and the dudes are just, walking back to the huddles, and I mean, but one thing with our team is they just, and it's been 2 years worth with this group, they do it. Always think they're going to win, and they know exactly what they have to keep doing. So there was never any question, doubt, not even frustrated. Obviously you're frustrated because you want to win these things, but I do remember Eli. I think it was the second or third when he missed that floater. He had a floater at the buzzer, and it was in and out. It was a great look.
It might have been the third one.
And I remember him coming off and being frustrated, and everybody's like, "Hey, keep your head up," and encourage him. He's like, "No, I know. I'm not worried about it. I just wanted to make the shot." And so I remember that being a distinct, but it wasn't ever. It just was. We were just there working, and so we were all tired. We were all together, and even if you lose games like that, it would have been memorable too. But I'm just thankful that we were able to win, and it'll be something we can talk about as a group forever. And there are not many teams that can. Talk about that 4 overtime game and what you did together. And even our bench guys, it was just so unreal how positive, how into it, how important every coach, every bench guy is in games like that, just with the encouragement and the talk and all that stuff. So it was a special moment.
Well, how about Eli in the third overtime period? He really took over at 8 points in that third frame, ends up with 31, a freshman from Wichita, giving you 31 points, 7 assists, and 4 steals. Most freshmen, as you talked about with Randy, some individuals would shrink in that type of moment. Mm-hmm. For freshmen, first ever postseason experience, you have so many nerves, so much probably going through your brain. Now, Eli is built different. I understand that. But how about Eli being able to control that third overtime, both offensively and defensively, and at the end of the day, giving you 31 points, which is insane to hear as a true freshman there from Northwest High School?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, obviously, this late in the year, he's nobody's a freshman anymore. That's what they say, second half. But to be able to do that, and just, he had a huge game in the conference tournament championship. It's just, all that experience in those huge games against great teams and competition, and him being able to step up, and us having a senior laden team, and our guys having trust in him. They literally, they'll say, "Hey, get him the ball," and we're all on the same page. It's a good situation, Eli, to shoot the ball, and so and just to have it because he makes the right play. So. It's not nothing I've ever coached. I haven't ever seen a freshman that's been quite like him, just in maturity level, I think, basketball maturity. And so I appreciate, I'm excited about his future. But man, what a year he had, and like you said, 31 points in a national tournament game for a freshman. It's pretty wild. He had some steals too, had some big plays off the ball as well. We are lucky to have him, and he has been everything and more than what we expected.
And last thing that I want to bring up from that game, Ring Dang, who's been battling a bad back, he gives you 39 minutes in that game, pulls down 16 rebounds and scores 12 points. If you ever want to know what character Ring Dang has, I think you got your answer in that game on Friday night.
Yeah, he's a winner. He's been so good for us the last 2 years in so many ways, and I've hated it, what he's had to go through with his back. He's had a bulging disc for a month, missed 3 weeks, and it's killed him. It really has. And so, but he's been able to come back and started to feel better. And we were in the situation. We talked about it before, and I've always, hey, you got to let me know. keep talking to me. But it's his last game, if you lose. And so in that scenario, I felt like you got to ride your guys, and Randy played 59 minutes, and those guys. And so Ring, I'm like, you got to let me know, man. Like if you need a sub, you need a sub. And he did, and he wanted to play. And I knew it would be a challenge the next night, which it was the next day. But he gave us everything. He had 16 rebounds. I mean, it's wild. We beat them, and they were a physical team, and we won the rebounding battle. And so which is always our goal. And so for us to be able to do that, Ring was a huge part.
And one more impressive thing to bring up, number-wise, stat-wise, how often do you see a player play 59 out of a possible 60 minutes of the game like Randy Wolf Jr.?
Yeah, I haven't ever seen that. I think that's probably not very good coaching. I mean, we could have given him a couple breaks, but
no, Randy would have wanted to step off the floor,
and that's it. I mean, you're in an elimination game during the national tournament. You either do it one way or the other. You plan for 2 games, or you just. I mean, that second game's not guaranteed, and you just got to let your guys play, I feel like. And so Randy and, Khalees played 52. And, I mean, it was some pretty insane numbers there. But our training staff did an amazing job after, we had some cramping issues, after staying late to treat them. I mean, we didn't leave till like 11:30 or 11:45, and our trainers were still there, ice baths, I mean, all of it. And then the next morning, I mean, they were there at 9 a.m., with fruit and with, all that stuff. So it was really want to thank them. I mean, our training staff, which allowed us, and I think we wouldn't have had a chance that next night if it wasn't for them.
Yeah. Well, the next day you played Ave Maria, ended up losing 108-102. Phil McClintock joining us here on the Pulse on ESPN Wichita, Edmonds basketball coach at Friends University. You're probably wondering, well, after you play an additional half of basketball, naturally, what I'm thinking is you're going to have no legs. Your shooting is probably going to dip naturally. That's normally what happens in this type of setting. And then you watch the first half in that game, and you're thinking, well, I couldn't have been any more wrong because you guys shoot 65% from the field. You nail 13 threes in the first half. You put up 64 points. But it was only a 5-point lead at halftime, 64-59. You're hovering around a 10-point lead in the second half, and then maybe that's when you started to see the wear and tear take place. You saw Ave Maria that they were able to get whatever they really wanted to. Tougher time for you guys, maybe make some jumpers, and at the end it was a 6-point loss ending the season. A quality team, though, so you're not going to sit here and say otherwise. They're obviously a top 10 program and a team that is going to Kansas City, a team that has a shot at moving on to the Final 8, maybe even further. But, man, what a thrilling game. Those that were in attendance to witness 23-pointers made by you guys, 64-59 in the first half. I mean, are you kidding me? Just a very high-octane thrilling game there throughout the course of the 40 minutes. So going back and looking at what transpired on Saturday, what stood out to you?
Yeah, well, we definitely, if people attended both games, they got their money's worth, I feel like, so to say the least, because those are 2 of the most wild games that I've personally been a part of in my basketball career. So I didn't know what to expect. Like we've talked about, I knew our team was going to play hard and give everything they had, and I knew we were tired and we were pretty beat up, but I knew we were going to have a chance. I knew it wasn't going to be a blowout, and we were going to battle. So now, did I expect us to come out and make 13 threes in the first half and make 20, which I don't know if it's a school record or, I mean, it's got to be a record of some sort. It's been the most in my 3 years as head coach here, so that I've seen, but I knew we were going to play, and we just came out, and it was just, I mean, we were playing loose, and Ave Maria is a really good offensive team. I think they averaged like 92 points, and they made 13 threes a game, which is more than us, and we led our league and made threes at 11. So we knew they could score, but I liked our matchup against them, to be honest. I knew that we were going to be able to score on them, and so I just think that our guys knew how tired we were, and we were able to play free and play loose, and Khalees Lee, go 7-7 from 3 in the first half, which helps.
Yeah.
Alan Merlahu makes 6 threes in the game, and which is probably a career high. So we just had a lot of guys step up, and it was a really, really fun game to be a part of. And that first half was, it was just wild because nobody could get a stop. They shot 71% from the field and 64 from 3, and so we were up 5. And so it's not something I've seen that often, but it was a really fun and exciting game. Obviously you don't want to lose, but nothing but proud of our guys for how we competed.
Yeah, how about Khalees, as you brought up, nailing his first 7 threes? We talked about Khalees throughout the course of the season and just how people will guard him a little bit differently this year because of the different personnel that you have. And even it gets altered even more knowing that Ring is not 100%, no Colin Macklin. You take away those pieces as well, and that does alter some things as well. But Khalees to go 8 of 10 from beyond the arc, 12 of 16 from the field, 32 points in total. As you brought out, going 7 for 7 from distance in the first half. We always knew that Khalees is that guy. He's always been that type of shooter, and for him to explode like that, how exciting was it to see?
It was cool. It actually was I think an advantage to us because you play in these national tournament games, and we obviously had scouts done on all the teams we were potentially going to play, but you focus on the first one, and then you kind of after the game you can watch them live, and then you talk about what you're going to do when you know who you're going to play. Well, Ave Maria watched our first game, and Khalees didn't have a great game. I think he had 13 points and missed some shots that he would have made. And so I think that was a benefit. Obviously in their game plan, they weren't as worried about him. And they should have, you have to be because he can get going. And so he set the school record for threes in a season in that first national tournament game. And now he obviously added 8 to that record, which is pretty cool. But he's a scorer, not just from 3. He can score in other ways, and we would never have been in that game if he hadn't have stepped up and been as aggressive as he was.
Yeah, and how about Al and Devin Davis? So Al gives you 22 points. Devin gives you 17 points off the bench for them to give you 39 points from other areas, knowing that Eli Benning would be guarded a little bit differently. That Randy Wolf Jr. is going to be guarded a little bit differently. So knowing that, you're going to have other guys step up, and Devin and Al were able to deliver a big-time performance there on Saturday.
Yeah, so, we talked about that a little bit. Randy played 59 minutes, Eli 50, I think.
Yeah, 50 even.
Khalees 52, and so we were talking, Al played 20, 25 or 26, and he felt fine. He's like, I feel okay. And Devin played 39, only 39. So less than a whole game. I think it was 39. But he felt good too. So we had some guys that we knew hadn't, carried that much, as much of a load that first game that we knew were going to have to step up. And so those two, just playing with that confidence, it was, no second days guaranteed. It was win or go home, and that was kind of our a lot of our talks that throughout the week and before the games. And you got to make sure that when you're walking off this floor, win or loss, that that you gave everything you had, and we did, and so all of our guys did. So
how would you describe this past season with this group?
It's been great. And most of them have been with us for 2 years, and we've won 50 games now in 2 years. And so, average 25 wins. We won 26. Last year was, a historic year for, at Friends, an all-time year, and we were able to win an extra game. And honestly, this year was a better year. We were ranked 16 in the final rankings, national rankings out of 230 NAI teams. We were, right there for conference tournament championship, 1 point away, and then 1 point away for the regular season championship too. So the only, you don't regret anything. It was an amazing year. Our goal.
You should be able to just go straight into the break.
I knew this year we had a chance to make it to Kansas City.
We'll do.
The only things that I wish, I guess, regrets is that this team didn't cut down nets because they're a championship team. And so, but that won't be, the thought or in my head. I wish I could have done that for them because that's what they deserve. But outside of that, winning a game in the national tournament, like I said, 16 ranking to finish, second place again, 18-4 conference record. I mean, I'll have to take some time to digest it and kind of look through, the records and things, because there were a lot of that too. So it was an amazing group, and it'll be a group that are going to be lifelong friends, and a group that I will be able to, and our coaching staff will be close with them. They're amazing dudes. So it's been a pleasure to coach.
Coach, appreciate your time. Congrats on all the success. Thanks for coming on all throughout the year, and look to do it again in 2026, 27. Appreciate you, Coach.
For sure. I appreciate you too.
All right, Phil McClintock here on The Pulse on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM. Friends, with a thrilling year, just falling a little bit short to Ave Maria on Saturday. When we return, it'll be time for Mount Rushmore Monday, straight ahead on The Pulse.
You're tuned into The Pulse on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
In business, just like in sports, the best defense wins games. That's where Conradi Insurance comes in, delivering elite risk management and employee benefits to companies across the greater Wichita area.
Give out some tickets here, so perfect.
Family-owned independent insurance agency in Wichita, we don't just talk the talk, we protect Kansas businesses like they're part of our team. Conradi Insurance, built for business, rooted in community, always playing to win. Visit ConradiInsurance.com to get in the game.
Step inside Twin Peaks and you're instantly in the lodge. Warm wood, stone accents, and that mountain retreat vibe that hits the second you walk in. Massive TVs line every wall, turning every seat into a front row view of the action. That I'm staying a while smell of wings and burgers fill the air. And 29-degree draft beer chills in frosted mugs like it's straight from the summit. The bar stays lively, the energy stays high, and the Twin Peaks girls keep the whole place feeling fun and welcoming. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I know what you're doing, Easton.
Yep. 316 day, baby.
Easton is celebrating 316 day.
And that's the bottom line.
Because Easton John said so. That's what we're doing. I quoted that earlier today with Shane, and I said, Austin 316 just says I whooped your and he started laughing. But
nice.
But 316 also, it's 316 day for us here in Wichita. We're in the 316.
There you go. So
not only are we celebrating Stone Cold, but we're also celebrating 316 here in Wichita. We're glad to be part of the 316. I've been here since 2021, and it's been a blast. So glad to be with you all, and certainly we're happy to bring you all sorts of great things right here on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. Before we get to our Mount Rushmore Monday, I need to give out a family 4-pack of tickets for the Harlem Globetrotters going to Intrust Bank Arena coming up on Sunday at 3:00. It's the Centennial Season, once-in-a-century celebration of 100 years of jaw-dropping no-way moves. I can still hear the background there, Easton. Sounds great. From gravity-defying dunks to game-changing tricks, fans will feel the history, the joy, and the fun that only the Globetrotters can deliver. They are also debuting their new 100-year jerseys. If you would like to go as a family 4-pack of tickets for Sunday, 3:00, I need you to text basketball to 316-247-0923. Text basketball to 316-247-0923 for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Harlem Globetrotters coming up on Sunday at 3 o'clock. You heard that correctly. You can also expect all new surprises like the Golden Basketball by Spalding, epic pregame Magic Pass experiences, and an unforgettable fifth quarter autograph session free for all fans. It's a celebration unlike any other. Harlem Globetrotters coming to Intrust Bank Arena on Sunday at 3 o'clock. If you would like a family 4-pack of tickets to catch the Harlem Globetrotters, text the word basketball to 316-247-0923. Text basketball to 316-247-0923. All right, Easton. Oh, by the way, do you know who Joe Hendry is?
Joe Hendry. Did I say his name?
Okay, so you don't know. I interviewed him last week, and I was very bummed that no one around here, we had listeners texting that they knew him, but Shane had no clue. Dylan Brett had no clue. So I had to play the theme song for them, and they finally understood. So
thank God.
I'm glad that you can.
Thank God you're cultured.
They were like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, am I really going to sing this song and do this song by myself? Like, really? All right. Mount Rushmore Monday time. Go, Easton John. What's your topic?
Record time. Mount Rushmore of Cinderella teams in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, well, gosh, probably the one that I would think of. Loyola Chicago was great in 18. I really like what Loyola Chicago did because they also had some like Kansas City flavor to them as well. So that's probably like where I would go, honestly. But UMBC, because here's the thing. How would you define a Cinderella? Like, do you go by the distance that they go? Do you go with the fact that they upended someone? Like UMBC only lasted just one game, but we remember them fondly.
Right. I would say the distance of how much they travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, Loyola Chicago's got to be up there.
Yep.
So that would be my first one I think of.
My first one would be NC State, the OG, the original. They won the tournament.
That's fair.
As the 10th seed. So, yeah.
Okay. I was going to save them for last, but I'll just go ahead and put them on my list right now. So you went NC State. I'll put them on my list right now since you went ahead and picked them. So you're up next.
And I guess since I already picked, you already said it, Loyola Chicago. I had them on mine as well.
Okay.
The Sister Mary story.
The Sister Mary story. St. Peter's is a fun one just because I just love the fact that I could quote the other guys as much as possible. You got to let a peacock fly. Like, that's what I was wanting. So give me St. Peter's.
Yep. And I have St. Peter's as well.
You do have St. Peter's.
What was his name? Inert?
Oh,
the cool mustache.
Yeah. And then the last one, Villanova is also an OG too, right? Yeah, Villanova from back in the day in 1985? Does that sound right?
I think so, yeah.
I think 1985, right? Because they won the championship, I think, as an 8 seed. So I think it was 85.
Yep. I was going to say VCU, but Villanova is a good one too.
You can go VCU. George Mason's there. You got a lot of options.
Yeah. So
all right.
VCU.
All right. Good stuff. All right, Easton. Thanks for filling in. Dylan Brett fills in for us tomorrow. And then Jack Johnson will be back. Speaking of Jack, he's taking over for the program, and he's coming up next. For producer Easton John, I'm Pat Strathman saying so long, Wichita. See you tomorrow at 2. At Dam Pharmacies, we're here to make your life easier with 7 locations. All right, good work.
Derby,
Good stuff, man. All right.